Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. You like my office? Believe it or not, this is a green screen, and my office could be anything I want it to be or need it to be. Now, a lot of us like to think about how things were back when, how things were back then, how we enjoy our childhood or past life, maybe as we're coming up the ranks in our business or our company, maybe in the military like me, get a different promotion. And a lot of us have a problem of living in the past. And that's okay. I understand. I live in the past too sometimes. I want to talk to you about this song. And I think a lot of you heard the song. Chad and Jeremy, Yesterday's Gone, back in 1964. Let me read you some of the lyrics. I loved you all the summer through. I thought I'd found my dream in you. For me, you were the one. But that was yesterday, and yesterday's gone. We walked together hand in hand, crossed miles and miles of golden sand. But now it's over and done, because that was yesterday, and yesterday's gone. We had such happiness together. I cannot believe it's gone forever. Wait till summer comes again. I hope that you'll remember when our love had just begun. I loved you yesterday, and yesterday's gone. How many of us still live in yesterday? Now, yesterday was 18-year-old. I was wearing a hat like this. Third EMS, Third Equipment Maintenance Squadron at Clark Air Base, Philippines, where I worked in the aerial and repair shop where we fixed F-4s and F-5 fighter jet aircraft. It was a great time in the Philippines. I spent nearly 4 years there, and I met my wife at the time, and my oldest son was born, and it was a great part of my life. But after I left the Philippines, actually I went to the state of Maine, and that's totally night and day. From the tropics to where it's cold, you can see snow on the ground 12 months out of the year. It was different, but in my mind, I kept living in yesterday. And then I went from Maine, I got stationed in Okinawa, Japan. Great time, great atmosphere, some of the best people in the world in Japan. And what I always realized through my career, and I've been stationed at 7 bases and deployed to another 7 or 8 bases and during my career, I always thought the last place I was better. How many of us continuously live in the past because it was better, or we thought it was better? And as we age and grow on, a lot of us think, well, back in my day, we talked to the youngsters, back in my time, we did it like this. Or my father would mention to us quite a bit, I used to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow. I'm sure a lot of you heard stories like that from your parents also. Now, coming from the great state of Ohio, and I'm a Buckeye at heart and always will be, I have fond memories of my childhood. Fond memories of wrestling and playing football and growing up in the snow. And I still think Ohio and the Midwest is some of the best places to grow up. There it's a diversity of different cultures and people, and we're used to the 4 seasons. And I believe strongly that everyone should experience those 4 seasons. It kind of makes us who we are. And they talk about that even in relationships. We hear every now and then someone met someone one day and 2 months later they're getting married. Rarely that works or lasts forever. It does occasionally, but we have to go through those 4 seasons of life to try to figure out how they are, how the other person is during each month of the year. How they act during holidays or special events, their birthday, how they're going to act upon your birthday. Do they celebrate anything with their family? And that's part of yesterday. Because we live in the past, sometimes we don't adapt or adapt fast enough to our current situation, let alone the future. I wear a lot of hats. So you saw the one hat with the 30 MS. I wear fedoras a lot. And in some ways, like the Rat Pack, of course, I don't have that kind of experience like Frank Sinatra and his team, but it makes me feel a little bit more distinguished. But this isn't a hat or a cap or a cover, depends on where you are, explaining or representing the past, the old. That's not really who I am, but it is. I've reinvented myself and I wear these kind of hats and covers very often. But I still live in the past because I remember, my childhood sweetheart, of course, and it didn't work out, but I still remember what if, could have, should have, those kind of things we all think about. I had a scholarship to different universities I didn't take. What if I didn't join the military and went to those universities? Now, a lot of us reminisce about things that have happened, but too many of us reminisce about things that didn't really happen. And we're still living in the past. Yesterday's gone. My mom died at the age of 37. Sadly, she did not get to see any of her three boys graduate high school, get married, have her own lives, her grandkids. They didn't do it. And my father, he lived quite a bit longer, but he retired one day and died the next. So he was so busy working, putting food on the table, doing the best he could to support his family, he never had the time to focus on here and now. I understand we have bills, we have to pay our bills, of course. Understand that outside influences dictate a little bit about who we think we're supposed to be. But when are you and I going to stop and smell the flowers of today and what's going on in our lives now? Here's another hat I like to wear quite a bit. Have you seen it or not? It's United States Air Force retired. Now, I don't wear caps a lot except for this beautiful one because even though I'm a veteran, Air Force veteran, my soul reeks. It doesn't necessarily reek, but it spells and displays the Air Force. And we have core values like every good organization should have. And Air Force core values is excellence in all we do, service before self, integrity, of course. And those are some very important core values we have to have. And respect is thrown into like my Toastmasters values, being a Toastmaster. And those are great values. And when we move forward in our lives, new co-workers, new boss, new relationships, we need to understand and appreciate our past, but we can't stay there. We have to move on. I can say, rah, 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 I'm retired Air Force commissioned officer, rah, 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 I've been there, done that, rah, 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 I have all these degrees, rah, rah, rah. That's not helping me move on. That's helping me live in the past and hoping other people can recognize that. I think it was Janet Jackson. I forgot which song it was. It might have been Control. But she specified something, something, something. But she asked the question, okay, so what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? That might have been Paula Abdul. I'm not really sure. Those ladies are the same in age, have a lot of experiences. But what have you done lately? Whenever I apply for a job, sure, it looks great. I was military. It looks great. I was an entrepreneur. It looks great. I was athletic. It looks great. I have these degrees. But they want to know what you've done recently. And the longer you stay out of what you were doing and not going anywhere, there really is a big divide. And that is the past. And that is the past. Let me go more into these lyrics. We had such happiness together. I can't believe it's gone forever. Wait till summer comes again. I hope that you'll remember when. Our love had just begun. I loved you yesterday, and yesterday's gone. We had such happiness together. I cannot believe it's gone forever. Wait till summer comes again. I hope that you'll remember when our love had just begun. I loved you yesterday, and yesterday's gone. It's okay to remember yesterday, especially if you have kids involved and other family members, and you could have had become the best of friends with your in-laws or ex-laws or whatever you want to call them. And nothing's wrong with that at all. But you cannot carry baggage into your situation today. You really cannot carry baggage into what you want to become. And I'm sure you and I have heard over and over again that we're a product or of the influences of the 5 people closest to us. Well, roughly, we're a medium or right in the middle of the 5 people in our inner circle. Financially wise, where we live, job, mindset. If you're hanging around a lot of people that have bitterness in their lives, to constantly hold on to the past relationships or constantly hold on to the past and are not moving forward, chances are you're not moving forward as quickly as you would like to also. Now, understand, if you're in a relationship or you have children from that relationship or other things, absolutely, you always have to have an open lines of communication with the ex. But you don't have to have an open lines of communication with someone that fired you. Or even, I mean, my military brethren and comrades around the world, we have something together and we focus on that when we're together. But that doesn't have to define you. It doesn't have to make or break what you think you are. It doesn't have to tell you who you're supposed to be. Why do we constantly focus on yesterday? Like I'm telling you, I'm guilty. For a long time, I focused on what a great wrestler I was. Heck, that was back in high school. Do you know how many years ago that was? I'm not going to tell you. You can keep guessing. You can keep guessing. Or what a great mechanic I was, or how great I was at working surveillance, or how good of a personnel officer I was, or. And at those times, I was good at all of those things that I was tasked to do, and situations and employment and positions that I was qualified and trained to do very well. Guess what? Even though I'm a licensed mechanic today, don't ask me to fix your car, let alone your airplane, which I'm actually licensed to do. It's been a long time, and those are memories that are that are part of my yesterday. Do you have things in your yesterday that are holding you back? Maybe you tried a business, network marketing, or went to school, and it didn't pan out the way you expected it to be. Maybe you didn't finish school, you got bad grades. Maybe you dropped out of network marketing before you made the big one. Maybe you started a business and you went bankrupt. Okay, we all have those negative experiences in our life. Once again, okay, we cannot live in yesterday. We cannot live in the past. We cannot live on our past accomplishments, nor our past failures. You and I need to constantly be striving for something more. I understand it's hard. I've had china and furniture and figurines and mementos from all my travels of the past. And a lot of them are not here with me today. So it's right here. A lot of my photos and videos I've taken over the years no longer exist. So it's right there. Can I be resentful I don't have them anymore? Can I make that part of why I get frustrated or stressed out? I do a lot of videos and a lot of talks about pity party. How you and I will hit a failure, a bump in the road, a total breakdown, and we fall this pity party where woe is me. It didn't go right. Please feel sorry for me. And we invite people to this pity party so we feel good for a little while, and it gives us excuse to stay where we are. Gives us, you and I, an excuse not to move on. Give you and I an excuse to keep failure in the past in our lives. I'm challenging you. I'm challenging me to get out of the past. Get out of that pity party and look to the future. How many times have we heard the best years are yet to come? Sure, it doesn't make sense. We're getting older. Our bodies creak a little bit more. Maybe our income goes down a bit. But if you could put some of the relationships and experiences that maybe haven't come to you yet at the forefront, I'm fortunate enough to have a couple beautiful granddaughters. Now, 5 or 6 years ago, I wasn't focusing on granddaughters or grandchildren whatsoever. And my youngest son went to start his career. My oldest son went to start his career. I was focusing more and more on me and what I could do to accomplish yet. And I have done a lot the last several years. But my grandkids don't care that I'm retired Air Force. My grandkids don't care that I'm an entrepreneur or even I live in a homeless shelter. They just care that I love and respect them. I want to spend time with them. Yes, the best years are yet to come if you focus on what's really important. Life's not perfect. You and I are still going to have challenges as we get older and grow more wisdom and mature. And that's okay. A lot of us are afraid to be open and honest with what we're struggling with. Some of us are struggling with addictions. It doesn't have to be alcohol or drugs. It could be sex. It could be collecting things. It could be whatever, cutting grass, shaving our heads every day. I don't know. I don't know. You and I all have something that controls us a little bit. And what if we just let that go back into yesterday and focus on you and I now and where we can go in the future? Hey, even if you're in a wheelchair or you're missing an arm or a leg or you have post-traumatic stress like I do and so many of us do, we can still cherish those moments that really matter. And those moments that really matter, sure, we want to go down memory lane. Sure, we want to remember a spouse that maybe we're a widow now. Remember a moment that we overcame the Guadalcanal or whatever it is in our lives. Sure, those are great memories. And every now and then we'll see on Facebook or in the news where here's the oldest female Marine, just turned 107 years old. And wouldn't you like to be that person? Sure. Now, I'm not a Marine, I'm Air Force, but I would love to be recognized 20, 30, 50 years from now of something I've done great. But I can tell you, more people would give up a limb just to spend another day with their parents, would give up something to spend time with the child that died prematurely. Give up something just to have that joy in your life again and get rid of the bitterness. I'm begging you, I'm challenging you to leave yesterday, and make today, and live like it's the last day of your lives, because we don't know the last day of our lives, and enjoy every moment of it. The longer we live in the past, we can't move forward, or we can never truly be happy. Well, those are my tidbits of the day or of this particular episode, and I encourage you to log on to social media shows and find out what we're all about. And if you want to create your own episode like this or tell the world a little bit more about your story, please do. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, anywhere you want to go. All you just do is say hey, you're in the office with G.I. Joe Skoda. Moving forward, because life's too short to stay where I am. Have yourself a great day now. Do whatever it takes to have a happy life. Bye now.
Live streaming on social media. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together and let's bring the world to you. Join us now.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures provides.
We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire now.
Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. And what a beautiful day it is today. Look behind me. We have some great things going on. The world's a beautiful place. And unfortunately, the last several weeks where I live here in California, we've had a lot of smoke, a lot of fog, a lot of uncertainty, a little bit warmer than usual, which is horrible. In fact, I just came from Vegas, and thankfully it was warmer there, so I felt a little more comfortable when I did get back to California. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about honor, courage, and respect. Honor, courage, and respect. Now, most of you know I've been in the Air Force. I did 21 years, traveled all around the world from the Philippines to Guam and Saudi Arabia, Okinawa, Maine, Arizona, South Carolina, California. I've been deployed to Kuwait and Panama and Korea and Thailand and so many other places. I forgot. And besides that, but a lot of points in between. Now, during my career in the military, I was a proud airman, Air Force, very proud of what I did there, and more importantly, a proud American. Now, I did notice when I was in Okinawa, and not just there, I got it a lot of us Americans, military-wise, and probably civilian also, have a little grit to us. Have a little attitude, have a little bit of, I'm better than you. Now, that sometimes comes across strong and sometimes it's subtle. We don't even realize we're coming across so strongly like that in our persona. And I saw that a lot in the Philippines when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. Right, we're better than everyone. Boy, that is so far from the truth. There are so many people, nationalities I've never even heard of, They have taught me things over the years and showed me, more importantly, what integrity, respect, honor, courage really is. Sure, you need to be proud of your nation, your country. You need to be proud of that flag that we salute and understand what that means. Now, I often talk about over and over again, if I was president or had the powers to be, I'd make every living being that comes out of high school, male and female, do some service time. Not 2 years, but 3. It takes you 2 years to learn your job. At least the third year, we can get something out of you. And then you can go back and have a little bit of pride in what the United States stands for, learn a skill, and depending on how long you stayed in the military, get your educational benefits. Wouldn't that be just better for everyone? Now, quite frankly, if you do not honor America, then why are you here? We're supposed to be making our country even better. We're not perfect. Our leadership's not perfect. We'll never be perfect, but we can make improvements. We can do just a little bit better than our previous ancestors, you could say, and make the world a better place, not just for us Americans, but for the world as a whole. And I believe when we spend time service, and I understand if you have a disability, you really cannot join the military, but maybe a civil service job, from answering the phones to clean up the parks, it really doesn't matter. Every one of us should serve in one way or another that we're capable of doing. Now, we're going to be fighting and screaming, especially the current generation, but as people get used to it, and other cultures do that, they make their all their citizens, especially their males, join the military for 2 or 3 years. Then you can stay or go. It doesn't matter, but at least you'll understand what our purpose is, what we're fighting for, what do we stand up for. And the longer you stay in the military, you start to get a little bit of courage. A little bit of courage to try something new, visit another land, learn from a culture that maybe you look down upon. There's a lot of third world countries out there that I've learned so much. Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, that's just Asia. I spent a lot of time in Saudi Arabia too, and even though there's a lot of money there, not everyone there has those resources. Pretty much have to belong to the royal family or be an outsider like me. They hired big bucks to come on in and do things. Now, I wasn't paid any big bucks because I was military. I got what I got and was happy to get that. But understand, you always have a rich and poor and hopefully a big middle class in every society. But when we have that honor and that courage to maybe challenge what the uppers are doing so we can learn, so we can become better citizens, so maybe we can earn a bigger income than we did before. Isn't that what it's all about? Earning just a little bit more, not just to help ourselves and our family and friends, but the society as a whole. And understand, riches is not always money. It's usually our mindset and our knowledge. So we put that to task, we can do so much more than we were able to before. One of the problems with mostly Americans, other cultures too, the French are usually really bad at this, is respect. Sure, we can honor our nation, our parents, we can have the courage to try something new, but to respect one another's culture. In Mexico and even the Middle East, they often take a siesta during the afternoon and close all the businesses down, the shops. They take a nap and they come back in the evening stronger than ever and stay open to the wee hours. But most Americans, we don't do that. We work from sunset to sunrise and we're done. What happens if we could take that little nap in between? Have a little bit, let me sleep on, let me think about it. Even if it's a couple hours, you come back with your mind fresh and you can be open to new ideas and not be so burnt out. I remember in my career, always those meetings that took place at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon were the worst, especially right after lunch. And then toward the end of the day, sure, you may get some things done, but what are you thinking about back in your mind? Right, going home, getting out of this, and worrying about it again tomorrow when we reconvene. And what happens if you respect cultures and let them share their ideas with us, where that little siesta in the middle is really beneficial? To that, sleeping on something before making a rash decision can really benefit all of us. Sure, it's not easy to change our ways, change is hard. And that's okay. That's why we need someone else to help us get along and figure out things that we couldn't do for ourselves very well. It's so important. I'm going to mention this. These are the 3 points I really want to talk about. Honor. You need to honor, you don't have to honor your government, but you need to honor your nation and the foundation it was built upon. Perfect or imperfect. Obviously it was imperfect, but there's a foundation there to benefit the society you live in. Whether it's America, Canada, Germany, Malaysia, wherever it is, there is something there they built a foundation upon with the idea of making society better for its citizens. So honor. If you're having trouble honoring what's going on, get back into the history books, and probably more importantly, ask your grandparents what happened, why things are so screwed up if they are right now. So important. And that courage. Because when we learn from our grandparents and maybe their parents the way society's supposed to go, or the plan of how things are supposed to get better, and especially their dreams for us children to do bigger and better than they were ever able to do, that's courage. What about women's suffrage back in the, I don't remember the years, it had to be 40 or 50 years ago, where they were not allowed to vote. They were not allowed to own land. They were not allowed to have a say-so what went on outside the family. And we had every culture. Blacks didn't have privileges. Like I said, women didn't have privileges. Other minority ethnic groups didn't really have the privileges that guys like me did. Now, we made the transition, and I think we've done the best we could to give everyone equal opportunity. But let's be realistic. Equal opportunity isn't equal everywhere we go. You can argue with me on that, and I thought from my standpoint, everyone was being treated equal, but you don't know what you don't know, and that's always an issue. And don't forget that respect. Whatever culture, whatever color, whatever sex orientation you are, whatever it is, we need to respect each other. Because when we come to the table and respect, we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree, especially in our political parties. We rarely agree. It seems like that's the expectation not to agree, but we can still respect what others are trying to do to make the world a better place, and try to figure out where they're coming from and how that affects us. So that's important. Keep it the honor, the courage, the respect, and we can have a much better world than we live in today. Don't let anyone bring you down or your ideas. You are a person with experiences of your own. You're a person that has ideals of your own. You're a person that's a product of your environment. Obviously, your parents, your education, your neighborhood. I challenge you to step out of that just a little bit more and find out what the foundation of America, whatever country you're from, or what that stands for. And are we still following that path? Or do things get so mixed up and we really don't know who we are or what our identity is anymore? Once again, you and I are not perfect, but we have to have something to believe in. And if we can believe in that honor, if we can believe in that courage, and more importantly, believe in respecting us, each individual, for who they are, we can accomplish so much more with the diversity around us than you and I can together. We're not a perfect people. We're not a perfect race. And one day you and I are going to be hopefully 6 feet under, and the generations behind us, we hope they're growing bigger and stronger than ever before, but in the right manner. And it's up to you and I to teach those generations what's really important. Get rid of that chip on your shoulder. Get rid of the bitterness. Get rid of that fear and hatred that some of us have. And let's go on and do our best to lock arms, live in peace, and make the world a better place. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. I just want to remind you, honor, courage, and respect goes a long way in this world, now as it will in the future. Go out and make things happen. Life's great. And please follow us on Facebook and everywhere else that you can, because quite frankly, we live in a good world if you allow it to be. Bye now. YouTube channel on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.